All right, this is our last one. I know it's been a long, long road, but let's get through these last 15 questions and then you guys are done for the day. Make sure you hit submit. Make sure you get a passing grade, you guys. If not, try to type it in again. Type it in. Try to submit it again. You get unlimited attempts. Try to get the highest grade you can. And if you need help with anything, just send me an email. All right, so let's get through these last couple. Number 11 says 3x plus 5x plus 2 times y plus 8 equals 4 times y plus 6. All right, draw a line down our equal sign. I know that this problem looks real long because I put a whole bunch of extra stuff in here, but it's the same 5 steps that we've been following, you guys. First step is distribute. We distribute when we have parentheses. So I'm going to distribute this 2 and this 4 because we have 2 sets of parentheses. This 3x we didn't touch. The 5x we didn't touch. So that's just going to come down. 2 times 1y is just 2y. And 2 times 8 is 16. All right, and on the other side, we have 4 times 1y, which is just 4y. And 4 times 6 is 24. All right, step 2 is going to be combined. So on this left-hand side, we're going to look and see, is there anything that I can combine? X's go with X's. So 3x plus 5x is what's going to give us 8x. And everything else is going to come down because we cannot combine them. After combine, we need to make sure we move our answer to be on the left. Now in this problem, the one thing I want you to notice is this. We have a y on the left already, and we have a y on the right. Remember, we want our answer. Oh my gosh, Miss James is sleepy. We want our answer to look like y equals mx plus b. We want all of our y's to be on the left-hand side. So that means that I'm going to be moving, sorry, thought that was erasing. Oh my goodness. That means that I'm going to move this 4y to be on the other side. I'm going to move it to the left side. When I move it, it's going to go from a positive 4y to a negative 4y. And that's okay, as long as they're all on the left-hand side. This 8x we did not touch. I'm going to bring it down. Right here, read what it looks like. That's 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. The 16 comes down, and on this side, we just had 24 left. Now that we moved our y's to the left side, we moved our answer to the left side, we're going to move everything else to the other side. So this positive 16, we're going to move to the other side. When we move it, it becomes a negative 16. We're also going to move this 8x. We don't need this 8x. When I move it, it's going to go from a positive 8x to a negative 8x. These two are gone. The only thing we have left is a negative 2y. On this step, I'm actually going to write the x term first. I know that x has to go first. So I'm going to just write the negative 8x first. Make my life a little easier. 24 minus 16 is a positive 8. Our very last step to get y by itself, because that is multiplication there, we're going to do the opposite, which is divide. We're going to divide everything by negative 2. Those are going to cancel out. So on this side, we only have our y left, which is what we want. Negative 8 divided by negative 2 is a positive 4. And then a positive 8 divided by a negative 2. So those two signs are different. That's going to be a negative 4. Remember, m is the number in front of x, and b is the number by itself. So if you wrote the equation correctly, which is exactly what we just did, you're going to get the question correct. I'm going to write the incorrect answer over here just to see who's paying attention. So on this problem, m, I'm going to write negative 4, and b, I'm going to write 4. Make sure you type your answer in correctly based on the equation that we just wrote, not what I'm writing over here. Look at the equation that we just wrote and type in M, type in B. Number 12 gives us negative 3 minus y equals negative 2 minus x. Our first step is distribute. Since we have two sets of parentheses, we're going to be distributing twice. So I'm going to fill in all my ones so I know what I'm multiplying. First things first, I have negative 1 times 3, which is a negative 3. Then I have negative 1 times negative 1. Negative times a negative is a positive, so that's going to be 1y. On this side, negative 1 times 2, that's negative 2. And negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. That's exactly what we just did on the other side. Negative times negative is positive. All right, so next, can we combine anything? Nope. Can we combine anything? No. Our y is already on the left side, so we don't have to move it, but everything else needs to go to the other side. When I move that negative 3, it's going to become a positive 3. So all we have left on this side now is our y. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1, and the x comes down. Make sure you write your answer with your x in the front. That's a positive 1, so it's plus 1. That's a positive 1. Remember, y equals mx plus b. M is the number in front of x. So even though we didn't write it, there is a number in front of that x. B is the number all by itself. I'm going to write this incorrectly, as always, sorry. Make sure, based on the equation that we wrote, you type your answer correctly. Number 13. 2x plus 3, y minus 4, plus 6 equals 12. Draw a line down our equal sign, and we're going to go through the same thing that we've been doing. First step is distribute. Take the number outside and multiply it to everything inside. Because we didn't multiply to the 2x, it's going to come down. 3 times 1y is 3y. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And the plus 6 is going to come down because we did not distribute to it. Step 2 is combine. So we're going to look on this left-hand side and see, is there anything that I can combine? Numbers go with numbers. So negative 12 plus 6, we can combine those. Negative 12 plus 6 is a negative 6. After combine, we want to move our answer. Our y is already on the left, so we're good, which means everything else needs to go to the other side. I'm going to move this negative 6 to the other side. It's going to become a positive 6. I'm going to move this 2x, and that's a positive 2, to the other side, and it's going to become a negative 2x. These are now gone, and the only thing we have left on that side is the 3y. On the right-hand side, I know it's kind of crazy because I ran out of room on that side. I'm going to write that negative 2x first. We know that our x term goes first. But we also had 12 plus 6. And 12 plus 6 is 18. Our last step to get y by itself, since that says times 3, we're going to do the opposite of times, and we're going to divide everything by 3. We want those to cancel out so that all we have left is our y. And actually, you guys, I'm going to move this over just a little bit. All we have left is our y. Negative 2 divided by 3, we can't do anything with that. So it's just negative 2 divided by 3. 18 divided by 3 is, ooh, I'm going to write the wrong answer. But I want you to plug in your calculator and figure out what 18 divided by 3 is. I'm going to put 5. Based off of what we get for our equation, we should be able to tell that m is equal to negative 2/3, and that's actually correct. That's not the incorrect, that's correct. But we also found out what b is. Now b, the one that I'm writing, is incorrect, but make sure you figure out what 18 divided by 3 is, and you can get the correct answer. $14 is actually a question that we are going to see a lot more of these types of questions. I just threw it in there now just because. But we're going to get to a unit where we do a lot more of these kind of questions. And it's simple. It's probably one of the simplest ones we do. We're still going to go through the same 5 steps that we did before. Our first step is distribute. We don't have parentheses, so we can skip it. Our second step is combine. And honestly, we can't combine anything, so we skip that one. Our y's are already on the left side, so we're good, which means we need to move everything else to the other side. When I move a positive 12x to the other side, it's going to become a negative 12x. And now that it's gone, the only thing I have left on that side is the negative 3y. I'm going to write the x term in the front. We got a negative 12x, and that's a positive 6, so it's plus 6. Our last step, since we are looking to get y by itself, we're going to do the opposite. That says negative 3 times y. And like we talked about, the opposite is divide. Now, this is where I'm going to need you to pick up your calculators. I'm going to scoot this over again because I always run out of room on that right side, apparently. I want you to type this in and figure out what it is. What is negative 12 divided by negative 3? That is the number you're going to write right here in front of your x. Ms. James is going to write the incorrect number. But you're going to type it in your calculator. You're going to figure out what negative 12 divided by negative 3 is. I'm going to put the number 9. Okay? Then you're also going to type in positive 6 divided by negative 3. What is 6 divided by negative 3? Type that in your calculator and figure it out. I don't know what that number is, but you're going to put that number here. I'm going to act like and pretend that that number is a positive 2. If you type it in the calculator, you'll get the correct numbers. You should be able to answer what M and what B is. Make sure you type it in and get the correct numbers. All right, and last but not least, let's finish out this daily strong. We have number 15. 2/3 y plus 4 is equal to 2x minus 6. Same 5 steps that we've been going through. Our first step is distribute. We don't have parentheses. Our second step is combine. We can't combine anything on this side, and we can't combine anything on this side, so we're skipping that step. Our next step is to make sure that our y's are on the left-hand side, which they are, which means we need to move everything else to the other side. When I move a positive 4, it's going to become a negative 4. The only thing I have left on this side is the 2/3 and the y. 2x comes down, and negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. Now, our last step, don't think that this is anything different because we have a fraction. This still says 2/3 times y. So in order to get rid of that 2/3, we're going to do the opposite. We are going to divide. When you divide, it's going to cancel that out. And all we have left is our y, which is what we want. Now, you're really going to need your calculators on this part, unless some of us know how to do 2 over 2/3. All you do is flip it and multiply, right? You do the reciprocal. If you don't know how to do it by hand, that's okay. Here's how you type this in the calculator. And if you listen and kind of try to follow the steps, it makes it easier. We have to type in 2 divided by 2/3. So on your calculator, I want you to type in this. Press the yellow control button and then press the divide button. When you do that, a fraction bar should pop up. On the top of your fraction, you're going to type in the number 2. On the bottom of your fraction, you're going to type 2 divided by 3, 2/3. And then you're going to press enter, and it's going to give you a number. That number is the number that you're writing in front of your x. You're going to do the same thing over here. We have -10 divided by 2/3. So on your calculator, press the yellow control button and then press the divide button. You're going to type in -10 on the top of your fraction. You're going to type in 2 divided by 3 on the bottom of your fraction. And you're going to press enter. And it gives you an answer. That number is the number you're going to write after the x. If that number is positive, you put plus that number. If that number is negative, you put minus that number. Either way, you should be able to tell me what m is, and you should also be able to tell me what b is. Yes, b could be negative, that's okay, but this is just the equation, y equals mx plus b. Tell me m, tell me b. All right, so at this point, you should be able to submit your daily. Make sure when you submit, you get at least an 80. If you don't get an 80, you got unlimited attempts. So try to go back and do them over. If you miss them, try to find your mistake. If you have any questions, make sure you send me an email.